Hello, and welcome back to another Starcraft 2 cast by me, Zoronden. And today's going to be another pro match. Today's combatants in the top right corner, the blue Zerg TLO, and in the bottom left corner, the red Protoss Elfi. So let's see how these two guys go against each other here on Daybreak. And whoops, I didn't mean to take that away. Let's bring up the production tab as well. And we should have some good pro-level play between these two guys as they go head-to-head on the map. Yep. Anyways, we do have a pylon going down by Elfi as he goes out with his scouting SCV here. Just doing his standard play. So far, nothing you can really do insanely crazy at this point. I would expect a fast expand out of TLO unless Elfi forces him to do something else, and maybe TLO plans something else, who knows. Keep an eye on that. Obviously, he is continuing to drone up at this time as well. Here does come Elfi's scout, going to go on into the base here, and not going to discover too much other than just, you know, drones doing their thing. He is going to try and do a little harassment with that drone, and if TLO doesn't pay attention, there we got a little bit of defensive going on. Maybe not. That might be the expansion going down, although he doesn't have the minerals at the moment. That drone might be just going in an attempt to get rid of that probe. I'm not sure what he was exactly thinking there. There goes the spawning pool, though, and TLO has decided to not grab the expansion. Fast expand, going to grab a spawning pool, obviously, first. Probably looking for some quick Ling harassment. However, Elfi does, of course, know that's there, and he's already got a forge on the way, so he could easily plop up a cannon and defend himself quite well against any amount of Zergling, at least any amount of Zergling that TLO would be able to put out at this point. And there we go. Elfi's now even trying to block off the expansion, and I believe TLO wants it. He does have some more Lings coming out as well, and it looks like he just moved his drone down to the third. However, now he's pulling back, so I don't know if he wants that third or not. He does go ahead and take it. I think he suspected the probe had left, but didn't want to risk trying to get it in there. Elfi is now going to pull that probe back as he knew Lings were probably on the way and didn't want to lose that probe unnecessarily. However, he's just going to park it at the Zelnog Watchtower, and that almost turned up bad for him as those Lings are in hot pursuit. He's going to swing around here and try to discover the third, which he will indeed see. Those Lings continue to get closer and closer as they have a tiny speed advantage on that probe, and that probe is not going to last too much longer here. There indeed is the first hit, and a few more hits, and that guy will be down. Look at the production tab quickly. We can see a cannon on the way for Elfi, as well as double gas, and of course a gateway. Nothing too exciting on the way for TLO at this time. Obviously, we have double expands coming down. That's something Elfi will need to be careful about, as TLO will quickly have a huge economy. Of course, if TLO is not careful about himself, he could have a very weak defense and be crushed by a quick gate rush by Elfi. So obviously both players playing considerably different game here. Obviously it's not a mere matchup, but there is a chance here by both players to take advantage of the situation that's going on right now. The quicker advantage is going to be to Elfi, the slower advantage obviously TLO, but once he gets that big economy going, Elfi's going to have some issues. We have the pylon going down, just kind of a more building pylon, as well as a bit of a watchful eye pylon. As you place it over here, you can watch out for overlords or drops or anything crazy like that. It's good to just spread your buildings out in your base like that. Again, just to have kind of an eye for watching around. But of course, he is grabbing a Stargate as well, so we're going to need to keep an eye on that. Probably going to be some Void Rays coming out, but could also be some Phoenix play as well. Phoenix play would be somewhat useful here, however, it would not be a game ender by any means. However, he could easily push out these overlords. Of course, he could do that with Void Ray. He could do that with a Void Ray as well. Another pylon going up. TLO is trying to scout out what he can. Let's go to his vision for a second. See what he's going to spot with the Overlord. Obviously, the Stalker's going to do some damage, but he does indeed see the Stargate. And that's the big information he needed. And it looks like Phoenixes are going to be coming out as well by Elfi. So wanting to take advantage of the Overlord across the map, as well as picking off some drones or something in the worker lines. So we do see Overlords going for exploration at this point, or all that stuff. They aren't being as safe as they need to be now, simply because knowing those Phoenixes are going to come out, they're probably going to end up dying anyways, so you might as well get some scouting information while you can. And a couple more Overlords sitting down there. Again, watching that expansion, watching for troops coming up from that way. We do have some Queens going down, and honestly, looking just now at the creep spread by TLO, it's rather pathetic. I would have expected more creep spread out of him, especially at the 8-minute mark in this game. But we do have an Evo chamber up by him. You'll notice all the expansions are pretty low on saturation. In fact, his third is the most saturated as the Phoenixes come in here and do some nice drone sniping. With this many expansions kind of somewhat early for him, he shouldn't necessarily saturate one, because if that drone line were to somehow get wiped out, he would lose the mass majority of his drones. So why not spread the drones out? And check that out, we have a macro hatch going up. Not happy with his drone production, apparently. Got Lair Tech coming in, as well as another Evo chamber, so definitely going to be seeing some more upgrades coming out of TLO. And I would expect any second now he is going to build up his army, as he is only on 9 Zergling and 4 Queens. He is actually quite vulnerable, and that's partially why these Phoenixes are able to do a nice amount of damage right now. TLO is actually in some trouble here. He needs to very quickly get a defensive force up. Obviously, Roach Warren on the way, as well as metabolic boost, ground armor, and melee attack. He's getting some spore crawlers finally. Try and hold off these Phoenixes. Fortunately, the bullets just getting sniped out like crazy there. And these Phoenixes are causing quite a bit of issues for TLO. And if Elfi follows this up with any kind of attack here, which he does have a couple of mortals on the field, quite a few sentries as well, this could seriously kill TLO. So this Queen's a little out of position. He's going to probably lift that up and snipe that off easily. At least she was pretty much out of energy, although not completely. And oh! I thought he might manage to save it there for just a second, but indeed that is not the case. The creep spread is starting to spread out for TLO very fast now. If he wasn't doing it earlier in the game, he is making up for it now. We have an Overseer going around down here, seeing what he can find. Obviously finds quite a few warp gates, as well as just the one Stargate still. Not opting for a second Stargate or anything like that, so we probably won't see any more Phenai on the field. But check this out, just what I was saying Elfi needed to do is follow that Phoenix harassment up with a very nice attack here. And we got 3 Immortals, quite a few Stalkers, quite a few Sentries. No Zealots, however. That could cause an issue for him. However, he is popping up a proxy pylon, so he could easily throw out some more Zealots. Let's see if he does do that, or if he just goes with what he has. And even more Stalkers coming across the field. This third is gone. I don't see a chance in hell of it surviving. Elfi just has way more troops right now than TLO does. TLO just hasn't really put any troops on the field. He has 19 Lings, 22 Roaches now. But he himself is actually going to go for a base race. So here comes TLO into Elfi's base. The question is, will Elfi continue the attack or skip on home? And actually forgetting this extractor here, if it becomes a base race, could be a serious issue by Elfi. So TLO is going to continue his attack down in the main of Elfi, while Elfi goes in here and goes for the throat of TLO. Elfi, recognizing the threat of the warp gates, is now going straight for them, so that Elfi cannot reinforce his army up north or defend even better down here. Quite a few probes going down right there by TLO, however, quite a few escape as well, and that was not good for TLO, as those guys have more than enough minerals to build some expansions, some nexuses somewhere on the map. Quite a few spine crawlers have gone up here by TLO, trying a nice defend. even moving those overlords in to try and block the vision. Phoenixes roll in as well as drones off the line, and Elfi's army is kind of in a corner here. Can it survive? Some nice force fields blocking off quite a few of those roaches, and the spine crawlers are all a little out of range. Even now, only one left to hit, but TLO is just crushing Elfi's army here. He's brought up the probes to try and help, but I think TLO might have held this army off. Holy crap. The roaches getting in there trying to take out the necessary units, but man, here come a last wave of zealots. I don't think it's enough, especially if he pulls back to these spine crawlers. And with these spine crawlers, Elfi is just not going to be able to break that line. And the key here was TLO going for that counterattack. He easily took out the natural, came in here and started sniping off the warp gates, or the warp gate pylons. Even though quite a few are up, Elfi is just out of money at this time, and his army got crushed in that corner. So brilliantly defended by TLO. Congrats to him for pulling off this game. And thanks for watching, guys. If you like this, please do thumbs up and subscribe. And I will catch all of you next time. Have a good one.